Am I the asshole for accidentally tricking my friend? I, 19M, love world building. I would consider it to be my main hobby. I somehow find a way to connect most things I find IRL to my fictional setting, and will jot down a note on a napkin or something before transferring it to one of my world-building binders when I'm alone. I don't talk about my fictional world with pretty much anybody. I think it's a little embarrassing. I have multiple binders for the same setting, for different aspects of the world. Think one for food, geography, religion, etc. It's a little overkill, but it helps me organize my thoughts. I invited over my friend, 22F. Let's call her A, for a movie night with me, my sister, 18F, and my parents. She's very much not into the D and D/fantasy stuff, and doesn't know anything about it. We ended up going up to my room to play video games, and at some point, I went downstairs to go to the bathroom or something. When I came back upstairs, she was on her phone, so I assumed she'd been doing that the whole time. She goes home, I think nothing of it. The next day at around noon, she starts blowing up my phone calling me an asshole for making her look stupid. I, understandably confused, ask what she means, and she admits she read one of my binders and asked her roommate to pick up one of the peppers she'd read about, because it sounded good. She said she wanted to make Fool's Bell poppers, because she and her roommate both love spicy food. Fool's Bell is a fictional type of pepper I created that looks like an overripe bell pepper, but is actually a little more spicy than a serrano pepper, so around 25K Scoville. Her roommate had laughed in her face after looking up the type of pepper, and said she got her good. Says I'm an asshole because to her, I knew she would snoop through my stuff. So I put something fake to make her look dumb to her roommate. I need to emphasize, this binder cannot be more clearly labeled as fiction. There are no IRL things in this binder, not standing alone at least, and the front literally says world building. Type. On top of this, she's one of my only IRL friends, and I love her a lot. I have no idea why she would assume I would do this maliciously. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole she read your personal things without permission and then tried to blame you for it. Let me ask you something. Is she really one of your friends? Not the asshole, but really I'm just tickled by how fitting the name of this pepper is for your friend who believed in its existence. Not the asshole, but may want to really think about if this person is really your friend. A real friend would not go through your private stuff and then chew you out over it. Not the asshole. You had them clearly labeled in your room. They weren't out on the coffee table in the living room. She chose to snoop, and then in turn karma made her the fool. This is not your fault. If anything, she should apologize for invading your privacy. You are young. People don't do this just as a normal thing. She is 1,000,000% in the wrong here. If this is real, your friend sounds dangerously paranoid. To think you had this elaborate plan to fool her? And just to make you look dumb? That is not a normal reaction. I wouldn't that type of person in my life. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, but on the plus side, your friend has no real problems and is therefore the luckiest person on the planet. Apart from being a total nincompoop. Am I the asshole for walking out of a pool party after people teased me when my bikini top slipped? I, 28F, have always been insecure about my chest. I'm very flat, and I know it. I feel as though I'm less desirable because of it. This past weekend, my boyfriend, 30M, invited me to his friend's birthday pool party. I wore a bikini I thought was cute but safe. When I jumped into the pool, my top shifted, and for at least 30 seconds my chest was exposed. I fixed it right away, but of course a couple of the guys saw. One of the guys shouted, "Don't worry, no one even noticed. Nothing to see anyway." Another jerk yelled, "I have always wondered what color your nipples were." They were tipsy and thought my mishap was hysterical. I was beyond mortified. I tried to laugh it off at first, but eventually grabbed my towel, went inside to change, and left without saying goodbye. I did manage to tell the guys they were all assholes. Later, my boyfriend texted that I made it awkward by storming off and that I need to lighten up because everyone was just joking. My boyfriend and I are currently on a break right now. Not the asshole, and honestly, fuck your boyfriend for not defending you. If I had an embarrassing slip and a guy commented on my body, my fiancé would absolutely deck them, whether they were compliments or not. It was awkward, because they had to self-reflect for a split second on the fact that they're not hot shit like they think they are. Get you a man, you'll stand up for your honor, OP. Boyfriend fumbled the ball majorly on this one. Not the asshole. Your boyfriend should have supported you and left as well. And this is from a dude perspective for what it's worth. You were 100% correct to leave a party where people were actively bullying you? Also, how are you all around 30, and these guys are acting like they are 15? If I were you, I'd make your break a permanent break. This guy doesn't respect you and has terrible friends. My boyfriend and I are currently on a break right now. Not the asshole. Make the break permanent. Not the asshole. These guys sound like they never graduated middle school. What kind of adult says shit like that? Especially to a friend's girlfriend? Not the asshole, but your boyfriend is. Crazy that he's at such an age and still unable to defend you to his friends when they're inappropriate, drinks around or not. Not only does he keep such friends who think it's acceptable to laugh at you when your top slips and you're unexpectedly exposed, but he makes you feel poorly for leaving because of how it makes him feel in front of those friends. Not the asshole. 30-year-old men, everybody. Am I the asshole? I made my sculpture wrong, so I walked out of class. I'm primarily a textile artist. I'm technically getting a degree in sculpture, but only because my university merged the degree programs. I already hold a degree in ceramic sculpture and have been teaching on and off for the past 6 years. My instructor for this class is a grad student. The class is teaching wood and metalworking. Hopefully this is enough context. I am also trans and autistic. Our first assignment is to make a reliquary for an object out of wood. That's the entire prompt. No constraints given other than it must be made out of the provided, compressed sawdust, wood panel. Since this isn't my first rodeo, I'm pushing myself to test the boundaries of sculpture and how I and the viewer interact with it. My immediate thought was creating a sculpture with the intent on burning it and the object it holds. A phoenix works perfectly. I knew I couldn't burn it in class, but I was given the okay to present it, then record the burning and upload it onto our class discussion board. I created the prototype over the weekend out of cardboard. Because the wood could not be carved, I was going to layer pieces in a similar way to the cardboard and have the wings attached by hinges. The phoenix would hold my old passport in its beak. Burning the sculpture represents me leaving my old life behind in multiple ways. Through me being trans, attempting to move countries, and my artistic voice changing and developing. I present my prototype, get good feedback, and get to work sketching onto the wooden panel. My instructor then comes up and implies I am doing the assignment incorrectly and will get a lowered grade. He questioned why it wasn't 3D, the wood is layered. Why a passport instead of something from my childhood, and where the baby was? Like how would I have a new one come out of the ashes? The phoenix is representative of my old self, I am the new. I don't understand how he couldn't see this. We spent a good 5 minutes on just that point. He finally leaves me so I can continue my work, but most of the class is over at that point. Jump to today. I'm finalizing my sketch and marking cuts. He comes back and starts questioning again why it's a relief and not a sculpture. A relief is a sculpture. And at this point, I'm frustrated and done answering questions. Again, we were not given any constraints or instructions other than reliquary. I defend my work again, and then we just stare at each other. He wouldn't leave, so I gathered my stuff and left the class, dropping it a few minutes after. I'm probably in the wrong, but this isn't my first time making a sculpture. I know what I want to say, and I don't want to compromise that by changing things simply for a grade. I'm planning on transferring to a weaving-specific school anyways, so it's not like this will ruin my degree either. Maybe it's an autistic misunderstanding, but if you wanted me to make a specific sculpture, then tell me that or let me use different materials. So, you're in an introductory class teaching wood and metalworking, and you just decided to test the boundaries of sculpture? I'll be honest, that comes across as rather pretentious. Nonetheless, if the instructor approved the project as you've described it here, they shouldn't be coming around and blasting your choices after the fact. To me it sounds like you was finding clever ways to avoid what class was supposed to be about woodworking and making 3D model. And when the instructor tried to steer you back, you refused to listen and kind of ignored him. Burning statue sounds cool. But it sounds like secondary additional thing that is not really relevant to making wooden sculpture. Technical A layer is 3D and any object is 3D. But technically correct is sometimes the worst kind of correct. The class is not just about what you want to say, it is about demonstrating techniques you are supposed to learn in that class. It was holding your passport in its beak. I thought a reliquary was a container. Is that where the issue is? You are the asshole a little bit. Just do the assignment as instructed. You're in school to learn new skills. Do that. Or, if you already know how to do the thing they're teaching you, good. It should be easy enough to just do it. You can make your personal art, however you want outside of class. This is an assignment to teach and evaluate your proficiency in a certain skill or technique, and your instructor seems to feel you're not doing that adequately. You are the asshole mostly because your attitude hurts only yourself. Doubt the teacher is affected much by you dropping the class. You are the asshole entirely because I can read the attitude you took with your professor from here, coupled with the disdain you have for your classmates. Why would you get a second undergraduate art degree? That makes so little sense. Could you not get into grad school? Would I be the asshole if I locked my roommate out all night because he refuses to get a new key to the apartment? I, 22F, live with my ex, 21M. We moved in together in February, but broke up shortly after because he was a lot different to live with compared to how we would visit each other's apartments beforehand. Around March or April, his key broke. Thankfully, it didn't get stuck in the lock, and we have both pieces of the key. Also, it shouldn't cost anything to let the rental company know and get a new key because the key wasn't lost, meaning they didn't have to re-key the whole apartment. I let him know that was his responsibility because it was his key. He has not done anything to contact the rental company. He refuses to call businesses due to anxiety and also just hasn't contacted them through email or the service portal on the website. We live in a safe neighborhood, but I prefer to lock the doors especially at night because you never know. Over summer I worked an internship and mainly lived in another city, so I was nice and gave him my key during that time. Now that I'm back home, I took my key back and decided I was done catering to him. In the 4 weeks I've been back, I've locked him out at least 6 times. I lock that door at night, around 9 p.m. after I get home from work, and when I leave the apartment whether or not he is there. I've been woken up past midnight in a few occasions because he was locked out while on a date. I thought I was more serious about the consequences if him not getting a new key, then he would finally just do it. I'm now debating keeping him locked out the whole night and refusing to wake up and let him in. He knows I'm upset about this, and all my friends agree it might be the push he needs to be a responsible adult. But I honestly feel bad about going through with it. It's still warm outside, so staying out in the weather isn't an issue. His parents also live an hour away, so it's not like he has nowhere to stay if I this. I've honestly struggled with standing my ground my whole life, and can't tell if this would be an overreaction and going too far. At the same time, I'm sick and tired of not locking the door at night, or when no one is home. I don't think it is my responsibility to cater to his schedule and disrupt my own whenever he needs let into the apartment. Wibta. Edit. Because a lot of people are asking, no, he can't go to the hardware store and just make a new key. In our lease, we're not allowed to make our own copies. But new keys are maybe $10 from the company. It's just a safety thing, but it's legally binding. Edit 2. This blew up a lot. Thank you for the advice. I'm gonna grow a backbone now. I'll let him know tonight that I'm locking the door at 9:30 p.m. sharp every night and will no longer lose sleep over him. I won't leave my classes early for him. I won't let him pick up the key from me either. I'll update if something significant happens. It's been too long of my friends calling me stupid for continuing to let him walk over me. Not the asshole. He should not be living on his own if he can't make a stupid phone call to get a new key. That level of anxiety is debilitating, and he has no business being on his own. He either needs to do it or go back home and live with mom because the other option is, and has been, others doing stuff for him. Be done with it. I'd be concerned that he can't lock the door when he leaves the house, leaving it open while you're both gone? How does that work? Wait, what? He refuses to call businesses due to anxiety. His anxiety is so crippling that he can't run down to the hardware store and get a key made, but he's out late at night? I call bull. He's playing you, Opie. He can go on dates but suffers from too much anxiety to simply send an email for a new key or make a 2-minute phone call. LMAO. Can I say thank goodness you guys broke up? Not the asshole. Nobody's locking him out. Opie is locking the door to protect herself and her property. Locking him out would mean that she changed the locks. If her roommate can't even email and request a new key, that's a him problem. Maybe he needs to reach out to his parents for help. His issues are not Opie's responsibility. What would he do if he lived alone? I bet he would figure it out. I hope you can move soon, but until then I would tell him that you will not be getting up in the middle of the night or any time to let him in. Not the asshole. Replacing a broken key is such basic adulting. That ex-boyfriend can't manage something so simple is truly embarrassing. So Opie, Don't listen to anyone telling you to be the bigger person, my ass. It's been 5-6 months, FFS. He can't fix such a minor problem on his own in half a year. OP, it's long past time for you to stand your ground with this idiot, and you don't need to warn him one last time. Do whatever you need to do to teach him a lesson, and do it now. If you don't want to deal with the pounding on the door that will surely result, sleep elsewhere, if you can, for at least a week. Hopefully, by the time you return, he's woken the hell up and replaced his effing key.